Web to Lead feature creates a lead in Sage CRM when a visitor fills out a form on your website. In a previous tutorial, we showed you how to create a basic Web to Lead form. Now we'll get a bit more advanced and show you how to add some functions to better track your web-generated leads. So let's jump right in and get started by taking a look at an example Web to Lead form. Here we have a newsletter sign-up page. We created this by embedding the default Sage CRM Web to Lead HTML code into our demo website. Let's fill it in and notice that the description is entered by the visitor. It's likely that your web visitors might be confused about what to enter in a free text description field, and this is one of the points that we'll be addressing in this tutorial. Let's go ahead and enter Sign Me Up. And for company name, Donovan Industries, and last name, Donovan, and first name, Linda, and linda@donovan.com. Now we'll hit Save and Submit, and we're shown a thank you page. So now let's jump over to Sage CRM and look at the lead that was created from our web form. Here we've got our interactive dashboard where we've added a widget that shows web leads generated during the current week. To see the new web lead, we'll refresh the page by clicking the Dashboard tab, and it takes just a moment to load. And there's the new lead. Let's hit the Maximize button for a better view. It's a standard practice for marketing departments to track the number of leads and resulting opportunities generated by marketing activities. However, based on the description variations entered by the web visitors, you can see that it would be quite difficult to generate reports tracking these leads. Querying by newsletter would miss 3 of the 4 here, and querying by starts with news would miss the first and last leads. So you see the problem that would occur as the number of leads from different marketing campaigns grows over time. To address this, there are 2 things we can modify on our Web to Lead form that will greatly improve our lead tracking capabilities. The first is to hard-code the description information into the form and remove the field from view so we no longer have to rely on the visitor to enter this information. The second is to embed a specific marketing wave activity into the form. Let's take a look at the wave activity field on the Donovan Industries lead, and we'll hit Change. Notice that the field is blank because the default Web to Lead form doesn't capture wave activity information, and we don't want to open each lead and manually select one. Wave activities are very useful for measuring the return on investment of your marketing campaigns because they allow the source of a lead to be tracked through your sales cycle. So now let's modify the Web to Lead form so that it automatically inserts a predetermined wave activity and pre-formatted description. To do this, we'll go to Administration, Customization, Lead, and here we want to open the Screens tab. And at the bottom of the list, it's the Web Lead screen where you configure the fields that you want on your Web to Lead form. Remember that we want to add wave activity, so we'll open the field list and scroll down to find it, and then we'll hit Add. And for reasons that you'll see shortly, let's move the lead description field to the bottom. This is the order in which they'll appear on the form. Now we'll click Update and then Save. The next step is to generate the HTML form code, which we'll do by opening the Web to Lead tab. And we'll click the Web Lead HTML button. Here we have the code that the system has automatically generated for us based on the fields we selected for our web form. We're going to paste this code into an existing web page, so we won't select all of the code. We'll only need the form code. So we'll start at the first form tag and highlight all the way down to the closing form tag. And we'll copy this and hit Cancel. Now we'll open our web page editor, and here we're using Dreamweaver, but you can use Notepad as well. This is a webinar registration page that was previously created and just needs the form to be inserted. We want the form to appear in this empty area, and we'll paste the code above, and then refreshing the screen, there's our form. Now let's edit the code so the description and wave activity fields won't appear on the screen. Then we'll hardcode their values into the form. The hard-coded values will then be passed on to Sage CRM and inserted into the new lead. So to do that, we'll switch to the code view, and remember that we moved the description field to the bottom of the form, and that now makes it easy to find. All of the code that we're highlighting here is related to the description field, but we only need to retain this portion of the code. So let's highlight and delete the code before it, and also the code that follows it. Now we need to modify the code by changing the input type from text to hidden. And we'll delete class equals edit, and now we'll hardcode the description by entering it as the value, and we'll type webinar registration and the webinar date, February 2011. Now we'll do the same for the wave activity. The only code that we need to retain for the wave activity is this here. So we're going to highlight everything before it all the way to the beginning of the wave activity code just before the opening row tag, and we'll delete it. And we'll add back in the table cell TD tags before and after the code. Now we need to hardcode the wave activity value. To obtain this value, we need to go to the marketing area in Sage CRM. And to get there, we'll click Main Menu. Then on the left menu, we'll click on Marketing. Here we have a listing of our campaigns, and we'll select Panoply Website Marketing. These are the marketing waves that exist under the campaign, and we'll select Webinars, and here's the wave activity we're looking for. Now we'll need to maximize our screen for the next step. What we're looking for here is the database code for this specific wave activity, and by hovering over the Change button, the code appears in the status bar at the bottom of the page. And it's the number that appears at the end of the URL following the equal sign, which is 41. Let's return our screen to its previous dimensions, and now we'll go back to our HTML editor and enter 41 as the value for the wave activity, and we'll save our edits. So now let's test the form in our browser, and we'll click the webinar registration link. Let's fill in the form, and for company, Mega Industries, and for last name, Smith, and first, James, and email jsmith@mega.com, and now we'll hit Save and Submit. Let's go back to Sage CRM and take a look at the new lead. And we'll find it on the interactive dashboard under My CRM. And looking at our Web Leads widget, there's the new lead. Notice the description that we hard-coded into the form, and the source shows web, which is hard-coded by default, and the wave activity was correctly inserted based on the code we used. And that completes our tutorial. So to recap, by hard-coding the description and wave activity information into a web-to-lead form, all resulting leads will have the same description and wave activity. This consistency allows you to accurately track and generate reports for a marketing effort. This is especially important if you're running multiple campaigns that rely on web-to-lead forms. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in your Sage CRM system. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.